Welcome into Inside Humboldt Basketball with head coach Ronald Abernathy. This will be the final episode of Season 1 with Inside Humboldt Basketball. And, Coach, it's been a pleasure. I've really enjoyed being a part of this program, and I appreciate you giving us the opportunity to do this.
Well, it's been a pleasure to present our inside.
Yes, sir.
Viking basketball to our fans and those loyal persons who follow us.
That's right. And I saw where this last week, or really the last couple of games, maybe it's the way we ought to word that, it hadn't really been a total week. It was on Thursday, I guess it was, of last week. We went to Dresden to play Union City in the Region 7A finals there. And kind of came up short, just a couple of points short. It was a tight game pretty much down the stretch, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. A tremendous game.
Yes,
high
sir.
intensity from start to the finish.
Yeah.
And actually the kind of games you as a coach, you dream of playing in. And, of course, you want to win them, but those are great high-intensity games that you anticipate.
You know, you talk about those games, you want to be in those games and want to win them, but you think about how many teams were not in that game. Just to make it to that game is quite an accomplishment.
Oh, yes, it was. And it's just part of our season. And again, we had a great season. And just to make it to that game and to be able to play in that championship final game again, that was actually, I think, my sixth regional championship game, I believe. In my 10 years here.
Wow. That's amazing.
I've kind of become familiar with that, but it was a tremendous pleasure to be able to play in one more.
And with the UT Martin basketball having success there, it caused us to have to move that game from UT Martin to Dresden.
Right.
And with the scheduling change, obviously we're not looking for a scapegoat. You feel like, we were in that game and it could have went either way. But do you think that had any bearing on it, where the kids played in a big gym, then had to go back to that small atmosphere?
Yeah, I think it does. I mean, if you've been in basketball as long as I have, you come to nitpick every little thing that goes on as far as advantages and as far as disadvantages. And, of course, it was an advantage for them because they've also already played in that gym during the course of the year. Because they played Dresden's in their district, so they'd already played in there the year. And from my understanding, I heard they had got a chance to practice there the week also.
Oh.
And it definitely, no question about the fact that it definitely makes a difference.
Yeah, it definitely does. And you come up 2 points short, as they only outscored you by 1 point in that fourth quarter. It was a tight game down the stretch. A great showing from your guys, and even though you come back home, you look at, hey, there's some similarities from this year and last year. We're going to Memphis. We did it last year. We thought, hey, we can do it again, and really could have. We look at that game last night. Man, first off, what an atmosphere. It was it was unlike anything I know my kids had ever been to. Right. And we were sitting up in the top. Kind of reminded me of that Bradford gym, when you walk in that Bradford gym.
Right.
And we got set up. We're sitting up top, and, man, people just kept pouring through the doors. And I'm even calling the game kind of sitting with my shoulders touching two guys next to me. And but when the fans when they were standing, it was pretty much you couldn't hardly hear.
Right. No,
I don't know how loud it was on the floor, but it was loud where I was at.
It was very loud. Very loud.
And it was definitely a home crowd.
Yes, it was.
We had a lot of Viking fans to travel, and we appreciate that, but they definitely had the home field advantage. I don't know that I've ever been to a basketball game where they're tailgating outside like that.
Right.
It was different.
We didn't see that because we got there earlier, and then we was kind of rushed because of the accident, so we just went straight from the bus straight into the building, so we didn't see any of that. Yeah,
they were tailgating outside in the very front, and it was different. I had never seen basketball. You see that around football and stuff like that, but that was different for me to experience in high school basketball. Okay. And Fred once again gets the tip.
Right.
We didn't get that in the semifinal game. I don't remember. Did you get it in the finals?
Yes, we did.
Okay, so he got back into there, got the tip 2 games in a row again.
Yes, he did.
And, for that first minute of this ball game last night, no score. It was a defensive battle.
Right.
And it was a lot of fun to watch. That first half, the second quarter particularly, Coach, I want to look at it and say, what were they doing to throw us off? Because it just felt like we weren't playing our style of basketball.
Well, they were pressing us, and we just just did not take our time because we have press break 1 and we have press break 2, which we've run very efficiently during the course of the year. But for whatever reason last night, we just didn't particularly settle down and run our press break like we normally do.
And it was a lot of mistakes from the maybe younger players on the court. And I'm not calling anybody out by name. I don't want to do that. Right. But I've seen, some younger players making some passes, and you can't help but sigh going, oh, man, that was a mistake. That pass shouldn't have been thrown.
When they put tremendous pressure on us. But again, we have press break 1. We have press break 2. We've run it very efficiently up to that point. And last night we just didn't do it as good as we've always done it.
Down 17 at halftime, and I was talking to in the halftime break, and I was like, hey, sometimes you have to set goals at halftime. You may not be able to take that whole 17 points or 13 points. I can't remember.
It was 13. It was 13.
Yeah, I think the biggest lead of the night was 17, but it wasn't at halftime. And when you come out into halftime there, what do you say to the team? I know you say it's 0-0 at the third quarter, but the reality is you've got to make that up some way. Do you set a goal or?
No, to really be honest, we knew we would be able to come back because we've done it before.
Sure.
And we knew we would. So our mindset was, okay, let's go out. Of course, it was our ball coming out. We need to score and then to get some stops. And, of course, we did come out.
Yeah.
We did score. We got some stops and then even the game back up.
Now, I was not able to keep up with fouls like I normally do because, again, I wasn't sitting at a table. I was sitting with my laptop in my lap and a headset on, and my iPad was sitting on the seat next to me, so I wasn't able to do all that I normally do. Did we get into foul trouble down the stretch? I noticed maybe Fred was sitting a little bit, but it may have just been rest.
Well, Fred had 2 fouls in the first half, if you remember, so we had to sit him down a little bit.
Yeah.
Trying not to get that third one. Then he got the third one.
Yeah.
And so we were trying to finagle and keep him in and keep him out, trying to make sure we save that third, fourth foul.
Yeah, and like I said, the atmosphere was great as far as, it was a home field atmosphere for them for sure. And then, we come out in the third quarter, and we're only trailing by just single digits going into that fourth.
Yeah.
And at that point, I think Viking fans, you all knew you could do it all along, but I think at that point it was like a breath of fresh air and new life into the Viking fans, around me at least. I could tell they were getting more vocal in the game, standing a lot more. And that fourth quarter, what a quarter. And really it was the Vikings all the way in that fourth quarter, just to that last few seconds. And now I'm going to bring you to a call, and I want you to walk us through your mindset here. Obviously, on the broadcast, we don't make it a habit of questioning calls, and that's not what we're doing here at all. I just want to let you walk us through what your mindset is. 12 seconds to go.
Right.
I'm sitting there, and I said, you know what? I don't know what they may do here, but they might come out here and just foul because that's only 2 points.
Right.
They've been able to shoot the 3. I said, they might foul here. And then we didn't do that, and they banked the 3 to send us to overtime.
Right.
I'll let you walk through. What is your thought process in that final timeout?
Well, because we're defensive-based, and we called timeout, and we set up a different defense.
Okay.
And to make sure, it's worked. It had worked out well for tonight. We actually set up in a 2-3 trap.
Okay.
But when we came out and that shot was taken, and the person who was supposed to be there, there was nobody in that corner.
Oh,
there was nobody there.
Somebody missed an assignment.
Yes, somebody missed an assignment, and with all the excitement. And when we called the timeout for those purposes.
Okay.
And we just felt like I said, it's all of it. Believe it or not, it's a gamble.
Well, sure.
Okay.
Sure.
And so one day you decide to do it one way. The next time you decided to do another.
Well,
okay. And then when we, as I looked up, the clock, it said 0-0.
Yeah.
So we just decided and chose not to foul to put on the line because we saw 0-0.
Yeah.
But that wasn't correct. It was supposed to be 5-5.
Yeah.
And when we looked at it in the game, it's so quick and it moved so quick. And when we looked at it, we just chose to go with our defense, and then we popped up. Bam! Some person was out of place.
Wow. Yeah. Well, as well as I do, a lot of these are coaches' decisions, and if it works, great. You're the genius.
Yes.
If it doesn't work, it's your fault.
And to really believe it or not, in my experience of being in college, in my experience of coaching basketball in Kentucky, usually works out that way. You're up to, usually I'm not a foul person.
Sure.
Okay. Unless the situation calls and dictates it.
Okay.
To the point where that's exactly what's going to happen, but you're not sure of that.
Yeah.
So we just chose to do it that way, and lo and behold, someone missed an assignment.
Because the flip side of that is in overtime, if the scoreboard had been correct, it would have changed a little bit of your coaching at the end. We didn't get a foul shot.
Right.
We want to mention that in this program too, because the refs even acknowledged it when it was too late. Somehow the fouls got totally wiped out on the board going into overtime. That's not supposed to happen. Why don't you walk through what's the protocol there? The fouls just carry over and over.
The foul was carried over, and we got fouled, and we didn't shoot free throws.
Yeah.
And then when they realized that we had fouled them, they gave them the shot. They gave them the shots, okay? And, of course, when I talked to the referees, I said, Coach, we missed that. That was our mistake, but it was too late because they couldn't go back and do anything about that.
Yeah.
But, like I said, when in my experience, we could have fouled them, but also and if that had been the case, if we go down, it's also, they can make one free throw, they could miss the free throw, get the rebound and put it in. So there's a lot of scenarios that can take place. So we just chose the one that we chose.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And I obviously there's a difference in asking the tough questions and questioning the coach, And when I said that on the air, I was very clear. I was like, now, I am not by any means questioning experience here. And I said it. I said, we get to have our show tomorrow night. I want him to be able to explain where were their minds, because we know it's a calculated decision on y'all's part. And I've seen it already today from some players, when we lose, it's Coach Ab's fault, but when we win, and we've got to be careful that we don't get overly critical of coaching staffs in these moments.
Well, you know what, Seth, I'm going to really be honest. That doesn't bother me.
Well, it does me.
It doesn't bother me because I've been doing this a long time.
Yes, sir.
And been very successful at it.
Yes, sir.
I kind of look at the source.
Yes, sir.
Look where it's coming from.
That's right.
And then I move on.
Yeah.
Then we move on because it's real easy to make a decision about what you should have did, when you should have did it, and how you should have did it.
Right.
Setting from a spectator's viewpoint, but when you're in the heat of action, you're making decisions quickly. And you usually go with what experience teaches you.
We're going to come back here in just a moment, and we're going to unpack the season. We're going to celebrate some great moments, but we had to talk about the two losses first, obviously, reality here. I want to share something with you that I saw earlier today. I knew I was coming to this coach show today, and this was posted by a friend of mine. Former LSU head coach Dale Brown reportedly charted every shot Pete Maravich took in college and found that if there had been a three-point line, he would have averaged 57 points per game. He said, what would that equivalent to over the course of Pistol Pete's 3 seasons with LSU? 4,731 career points.
Right.
And then they talked about how Caitlin Clark currently has 3,685 career points. It's not discrediting anything Clark has done, but no doubt, being transparent over basketball as a whole, they're saying, it's like comparing apples to oranges when you start trying to compare that game to this game today.
No question, because he averaged 44 points a game.
Yeah.
And then there was no three-point line.
And that's
so now you can imagine.
Goodness.
You could imagine if there was a three-point line, how many points a game he would have averaged.
I knew when I was coming to this show today and I read that, I was like, I got to use that today because that is unreal.
And we talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
We talk about it a lot. Coach Brown and I talk pretty much weekly, and we talked about Caitlin Clark on the record. He said, can you imagine what it would have been like with Pete with the three-point line? Because he averaged 44.1 points a game without the three-point line.
Yeah.
And with it would have been just off the chain.
That is unreal.
Yes.
We'll keep talking here in just a moment, folks. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to unpack the season, celebrate some good things about the year, and maybe just go ahead and take a sneak peek into next year before we wrap up today. We can't help it but look to the next season. We'll be back here in just a moment. You're watching Inside Humboldt Basketball with head coach Ronald Abernathy on Viking News on Demand.
Sport builds us up. It strengthens our bodies. It strengthens our resolve. Sport teaches us lessons of grace or humility or humanity, and that we're far more powerful together. Winning the hour or winning the year, we're winning our lives. We're winning our way. Because while a season is short, fierce is forever.
Are you in search of a nurturing and educational environment for your little ones? Look no further than We Pray Learning Academy. located at 910 North Central Avenue in Humboldt, Tennessee. We offer our services to children aged 8 weeks to 12 years old. With our dedicated owners, Hannah and Doris Collins, you can rest assured knowing that your family is in good hands. To learn more about our academy and how we can best serve your child, reach out to us via email at weprayacad@yahoo.com or give us a call at 731-784-7294. We can't wait to meet you and your little Vikings.
Who is the table for? It's not just where some serve while others sit. The table is where we make decisions, where we shape the future, where we engage each other on equal ground. If we're going to feed the world, it will take all of us. Every voice, every point of view, everyone at the table.
Nothing brings community together quite like a sporting event. Security Bank and Trust Company is committed to supporting our local sports teams because we know how important it is to be part of a great team. This is Deanne McEwen at Security Bank and Trust Company. When you team up with us, you are fostering the competitive spirit of our local athletes. Want to be part of our team? Join our amazing banking community. Visit your nearest branch or head to securitybanktn.com to learn more. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Get ready.
Hey girls, we're going to McDonald's.
Can I get a Big Mac?
Can I get a big chicken?
And no onions on mine.
And extra sauce on mine.
No,
and
no
pickles.
sauce on mine and extra pickle.
When everyone wants something special, order ahead in the app to save time.
Are you looking for a job in manufacturing or maintenance? Look no further than West Rock, located at 1720 North 9th Avenue in Humboldt, Tennessee. West Rock is not only proud to support the Humboldt Vikings, but they are also actively hiring. What's even better is there is no mandatory weekend overtime. The manufacturing position starting at a competitive $19.25 an hour, and the possibility for an increase to $19.83 an hour after just 60 days. West Rock offers a great opportunity for those interested in the field. If you have an experience as a maintenance technician, the pay ranges from $21.39 to $32.88, depending on your level of expertise. Don't wait any longer to get started on your application by visiting jobs.westrock.com. Join the West Rock team as we cheer on your team, the Humboldt Vikings.
Hey Vikings fans, this is Ted Martin, former Humboldt Vikings quarterback and class of '93 graduate. When me and my fellow classmates want to follow Viking sports, we watch Viking News on Demand. In addition to live streaming of games, there are also plenty of specialty shows that keep us all involved in our alma mater. On behalf of the class of 1993, go Vikings!
Welcome back in to Inside Humboldt Basketball with head coach Ronald Abernathy. And Coach, looking back on the season, is there anything you would have done differently first off as we kind of unpack the year?
Absolutely not.
I expected that right there.
Absolutely not. We charted out the season to start with the tough teams that
yes,
would get us ready for postseason, and that worked out very well.
Right.
We finished, I believe, 8-6 in preseason, and then we go through our district undefeated, and then we win the district championship. No, there's nothing I would have done different.
Yeah.
And of course, again, my hat goes off to my players. And,
yes, sir.
And my coaches. My coaches
sure.
who did a tremendous job.
Yes, sir.
Of preparation and finding video and finding teams and scouting. They did a tremendous job, and of
yes,
course.
Sir.
We just, our kids worked hard.
Yeah.
They did the extra step. They took it. I'm proud of them.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
proud of what we accomplished. When people look at your team, they automatically sometimes assume, they should do this and they should do that. But we just simply took what we have been given.
That's right.
And made the best out of it. And that's what we did. And that's what our kids, they performed that way. And I'm proud of them, proud of what they've done. Nope, wouldn't have changed anything.
Yeah.
We did everything the right way. and we'll continue to do it the right way.
Do you have another team meeting, or is last night it? When do you have that? Or
no, we'll have another team meeting.
Yeah.
Because, they have to turn in stuff and everything. We'll have another team meeting to sit down and talk about, the year.
Yeah.
But it's a positive one because at this point, there's no need to rehash what happened and when it should have. So, we don't rehash what you did or why you did it. We just talk about the positiveness of the season and prepare to move on.
So we look over last year, and you talk about the positives of the season. Give us a little snippet there. What do you pull away from this season as the major positives? Obviously, some of them are obvious.
Yeah, well, the fact that, we did improve as a team.
Yes, sir.
Year before last, we won 19 games. This year, we won 22. We were district runner-ups last year, so now we were district champs this year.
Yes, sir.
Of course, we got another chance to play in the sub-state, which was positive. We had the two 1,000-point getters, and Stefan and Fred, and then Stefan's 500 points, 500 rebounds, and then, of course, for myself, 200 victories in this 10-year period were big pluses for this year.
And I think about Fred more and more so even than Carnell Allen, and I know Allen comes in off the bench, but Fred had invested so much into this season.
Right.
To see that year end the way it did, how's he doing? Is he doing pretty good?
No, very good. I'm proud of Fred, and Fred has come a long ways as a player, as a person. And I'm really proud of him and proud of his attitude and his stick-to-itiveness, which is what he's done, and holding the banner up. And I'm proud of Fred. And we more than anything else, our program is not just about basketball and about athletics. It's about building young men, giving them focus and allowing them to be able to look at the life situations and circumstances during our season to use for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
And we accomplished that with those people, and we've accomplished that with Fred.
And I know Fred has aspirations of going to college. Do you think he's still going to play college ball? Do we have a signing day hopefully coming soon?
Yeah. He has folks looking at him and folks calling, and of course, pretty much for us, it was wait till we were through with the season. But he has folks at the year 2 UT Martin game where coaches scouting him, and he already has a couple of offers.
Okay.
And the landscape of college basketball has changed so much now. Used to be where a good freshman would go to a 4-year school. Now the landscape has changed with the portal and the transfer. The older player is more cherished. That player who has played for 6 years or 5 years, which makes it tough for freshmen.
Yeah.
Freshmen are going to have to really be phenomenal in order to get a 4-year scholarship now because of the portal and the transfer. The older kid, you're talking about kids who are playing the 5th and 6th and 7th years.
Yeah.
Who are playing. So he has quite a few junior college offers already.
That's fantastic.
And he has some 4-year offers already.
A great young man. You see him out right now. You see him out at Walmart pushing carts. He's always a smile on his face, and I always enjoy having good conversations with him.
Yeah.
And like you say, you hate to see a season come to an end like that last night, but that's just going to make him a better man in the end.
Oh yeah, the unfortunate thing about tournament time and getting to this point is somebody has to lose, somebody has to go home, and more times than not, we've been the ones to stay.
Yeah.
This is rare for us, and you learn from it, and you move on. You learn from it, you feel from it, and then you move on.
Well, you talk about learning from it. There's been one player already out there saying, obviously with all the football offers he's looking at, that may have been his last. Well, he says it is his last game in a basketball uniform. In that meeting that you're going to have, do you have that conversation with players and saying, hey, are you coming back next year so that you can already start thinking toward how your team's going to look?
Usually, you do that in college. In high school, you pretty much have what you have. You know what you got.
Yeah.
In an extraordinary situation, a player may leave or whatever.
Yeah.
But in high school, you pretty much know who's coming back, and you pretty much work from there. And you also, in our case, had some players who have spoke of transferring to Humboldt.
Yeah. Okay.
And so that goes on. So we kind of have our meeting and we talk about that, and then we really get serious about it in May. When we will have team trials and look at it again, and prepare for who we got. Because again, like I said, in high school, you kind of, we don't recruit.
Yeah.
So you kind of get what you get.
Yeah.
And then you go from there.
Well, and, like that player that I mentioned has had a lot of football offers, and so I don't know that it was probably a shock to anybody because he's having to think about the next step and how he pays for that college and, that next career for him. But you still have a very strong junior class next year.
Yeah, we do.
That is returning, that can continue to build on this success. And,
right.
We've always said if it didn't happen this year, you still got another shot next year at Murfreesboro because you got a lot of experience that's coming back.
Yeah, we do. And, again, over my 10 years being here, we've always been in the hunt.
Yeah.
For my first year in 2014, 15, regardless of what we've had, we've always been in the hunt. I can't remember. I'm not a statistical person, but I can't remember how many times we've either been in the championship game, been the winner or runner-up over my 10 years here.
Yeah.
Been quite a few.
Fantastic. So I know every coach has a hard time turning that motor off for a little bit, but you're going to be able to take a few weeks just away from basketball and your mindset?
Yeah, I am. As a matter of fact, my son RJ plays baseball in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So I'm going to go there and spend a week with him.
Good.
During our spring break.
Okay.
Which I haven't done, and this is his second year there, so I'll get a chance because I'm still pumped up right now, still revved up, and you have to come down.
Yeah.
And, as high as we get, boom, you have to come down a little bit. That's where I am.
Do you encourage that of your coaching staff as well?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. And then March Madness will rev you back up again. It's going to be here.
Yes, this is March. And again, I thank my players and my coaches because we are always consistently able to play in March.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that's something that not a lot of programs or teams can say. We are always playing in March.
Yeah.
We're always been able to play in March. So.
Do you keep up with the district tournament while you're away?
You mean the state tournament?
Yeah, the state tournament, right? I'm sorry.
Yeah. I will.
Fantastic. Well, any parting words here? I know this is our final episode of season 1. We'll bring it back again next year if you're interested in doing the show. We'll definitely keep it going.
I think it's good because I think that people who are for us and people who are positive about us, it's interesting to know what we do inside of Humboldt basketball. From the outside, it looks like, I can do that. But I think I'm very, very enjoyable. But I got one thing that I want to say.
Yes, sir.
One of my good friends is apparently sick.
Oh.
And I want to say to her, Godspeed and peace,
sir.
And that's Alicia Baskerville.
Yes, sir.
I just want to know if there's any way she can hear this.
Yeah.
Any way she can hear it. I wanted to know that we're thinking about her.
Yes, sir.
Praying for her, that the best is for her in peace.
Well, I'm sure she will be watching because I noticed Chance always pulls that link up, and so when he sees that, he will make sure she sees it, I'm sure.
Yes.
And, Coach, it's always a pleasure to sit down with you. Appreciate you giving us the inside track this year. It's been really interesting to see, behind-the-scenes stuff and getting to talk to the players as well as the coaches, and it's been a fun ride. It has been. It's been a great season.
Great season.
Great season.
No regrets.
That's right. That's right. Thank you for watching. Thank you, sponsors, for supporting this program. And we're going to take a few weeks off, and baseball starts soon. We're actually going to stream 3 baseball games this year, and then we're going to have some pictures from other games as well. And then by football time, there may be a big announcement about our programming, and we're trying to make it a little more stable. I know that was frustrating in Union City. Actually, it was at Dresden. We were playing Union City, and second half just froze on us. And George was there without me, and I tried to walk him through it over the phone. There was no resolve to it. I don't know what happened, but we're working on a more stable connection. And by football time, that should be able to hopefully be rolled out, have some sponsors for that. And then basketball will be ready to roll again.
Yes, sir.
So thank you for watching Inside Humboldt Basketball with head coach Ronald Abernathy on Viking News on Demand. God bless.